internet, my name is Lave and I watched John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum, and I actually had to look up what Parabellum meant, and the first internet search that it came up with was World War I gun, and I was like, that's weird, why call it John Wick Chapter 3 World War I gun? But it's actually Latin for prepare for war, and it's actually part of a larger saying that if you want peace, prepare for war. So that makes sense. This one is once again directed by Stahelski, who was the director on Chapter 2, and more importantly, Keanu Reeves has returned as the Baba Yaga. Now, just wanted to point out, in the first film, he isn't referred to as the Baba Yaga or the boogeyman. He's referred to the man you sent to kill the fucking boogeyman. So this one picks up directly where the last one left off. John Wick is now excommunicado because he broke the rules and has a bounty on his head for 14 million bucks. So every other hitman, assassin and bounty hunter is out to get him, and he has to fight and kill his way out of it. So what else is there to say about the John Wick franchise which hasn't already been said? It's still a throwback to the 90s one-man army action movies, but with modern day filming techniques and really slick cinematography and the very best fight choreography like ever. I did notice that a lot of the actors and martial artists from The Raid were in this one, and I'm not sure if they were involved in the other films. They could have been part of the stunt team, but they actually have characters in this, and they've raised the bar again. This is some next level stuff. As an example, if you look at the Bourne Supremacy with Matt Damon as Jason Bourne, in the fight he has with Desh, the other asset trying to track them down and kill them, he takes him on with a book, and it's like the makers of this said, yeah, we see your version of that, now here's our version, and it completely blows it out of the water. There are so many occasions in this film where I laughed because of the absurdity of it all, but in a good way. Out of all three of the John Wick movies, I think I enjoyed the action fight set pieces the most in this one, because there is more hand-to-hand combat. It's more stabby with more swords and daggers, including one set piece where knives are literally flying all over the place. And the way that particular scene ends, I literally went, oh, that's harsh. Like, I mean, even for John Wick. I will say that on a couple of occasions I did notice some of the CG effects with the knives. Obviously they're not actually stabbing each other, and you can see where they've digitally replaced the knives. And also in some of the chase set pieces, when, you know, a really big accident happened, when someone tumbles off a bike, you can see where the live action ends and the CG starts. But I wouldn't say that it's distracting and takes anything away from the spectacle, and a lot of this stuff is filmed practically. With regards to the story, it's pretty straightforward, as you would expect. I mean, it's not asking any profound questions like what is the meaning of life, or a deep exploration of the human condition, or anything like that. I suppose at a stretch you could say that the film's metaphor is about the battle for John Wick's soul. Is he the Baba Yaga, or is he the man who's married and all of that? But no, come on, this is John Wick. But what I will say that the film does do is expand on its own lore again, like Chapter 2 did. Not as in-depth. I mean, you find out a bit more about the organisation at the top of the pile. It's called High Table, and they're the ones calling the shots. They send out Asia Kate Dillon's character called the Adjudicator to basically clean up all of the mess from the last film. I wasn't particularly amazed with her performance, but she's serviceable. I was, however, really surprised by Halle Berry, whose character has a past connection to John Wick, and she can also hold her own as well. She does kick butt with the help of 2 ninja dogs in body armour. There are a couple of other new cast members added to the roster, like Anjelica Huston and Jerome Flynn, or Bronn from Game of Thrones. They're basically there to like fill in the boring bits, but the one that I want to highlight is played by Mark Dacascos. I think his character's name is Zero, but I recognise this guy from that short-lived TV show of The Crow and a really rubbish film called Drive, which I loved at the time. But he was really good in the film. He's kind of facilitating the same role as Common did in the last one, but this time around he's much funnier. He's got a couple of one-liners which really made me laugh, because he's a fanboy of John Wick, but he's also trying to kill him. A lot of the original cast are back too, like Laurence Fishburne is completely hamming it up as ever. Ian McShane is on cruise control, but I like the fact that they brought back the Doctor from the first movie too. That was a nice touch. But really, it's all about Keanu Keanu, who once again doesn't say more than 5 words at a time, and some of them are even lines from his previous movies. But hey, the dude is 55 years old and he's not going to change. He knows he's not a brilliant actor, so he's just doing what he's good at, and considering he's 55 years old, the dude can still throw down. It's awesome. The only other criticism I can think of parallels with what I said with John Wick Chapter 2, in that I felt that was a bit too long, and likewise this one I did feel the 2-hour runtime, but it did go quicker than Chapter 2. And also, as good as the gunfight sequences are, they do tend to kind of blur into one. But then the hand-to-hand combat stuff in this more than makes up for it. It knows exactly what it is. It's a ton of fun. So that's my thoughts on John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum, and pause the video if you want to take a closer look at my enjoyment tracker now. The John Wick films are the perfect background movie. Like, if I'm doing something but I want to have something on in the background which I can dip into every now and again, like I always put on John Wick Chapter 1 or Chapter 2 because I know that when I do tune into it, I'm going to be entertained. So thanks very much for watching this review. If you've seen it, let me know what you thought down in the comments. And as always, thanks for checking out this video. I really do appreciate it. If you can, give it a like, and don't forget to share the Lave. The fucking Baba Yaga Lave.